All right, everybody, welcome to a special episode of the Alchemy Podcast. We got Jake Robles here, part 2. Good to have you here, brother.
Thanks for having me.
So for those that want part 1, go check that out. That's going to be mindset, Jake's philosophy, kind of routines, kind of bigger picture stuff. This special episode, we're just going to give people sales training.
Let's do it.
Let's give the people what they want.
Yes, sir.
Right. So this podcast is designed for those that sell smart home. So solar guys, probably not going to be great of an episode for you. I'm sure you might get some takeaways. This isn't philosophy. This isn't spirituality. This isn't mindset, right? This is straight up sales 101, just getting rugged with it.
Let's do it.
So first question I have for you, because we're going to do some role plays here. Before we get into the role play piece, what would you say are the top traits of a successful door-to-door sales rep, specifically at Vivint?
Sales wise or like just traits in general?
Like for a door-to-door sales rep who works for Vivint specifically, what traits do they need to even have before their door approach, presentation, and close will even work?
Yeah, I think people don't understand the level of commitment that it takes to perform at a high level and like to go out and make a lot of money. So I think it's unwavering, unconditional commitment. Know exactly where you're trying to go, know exactly what it takes, and you have to live, eat, breathe this job. So the way you sleep, the way you train, the way you eat, the way you drink, every single piece of it, the whole entire summer and leading up to the summer, I think is like the number one trait, I would say. Sales wise, I mean, you got to stay really grounded. And so you got to be calm, relaxed. People that can handle rejection, I think, at a high level makes a big difference. Yeah, I would say those are probably the main traits.
And I agree with you, right? First is you got to be all in.
Yeah.
This job's too hard for you to not be all in. If you're not all in, the moment it gets hard, you're going to back down.
For sure.
Right? So it really, in your words, you have to eat, breathe, sleep, drink orange Vivint Kool-Aid.
All day.
All day, every day, 24/7, 365, even on Sunday.
Yep.
Right? And then the unwavering self-belief part is something I talk about a lot too for top sales performers. You have to have almost like this insane level of self-confidence.
For sure.
Where rejection doesn't even touch you.
Yeah, you got to think you're the best.
Yeah.
Like genuinely believe you're the best. I feel like the biggest difference from like the top performers is they have no ceiling.
Yep.
And it's breaking through that barrier of like, dude, how do these guys sell 400 compared to, 400, you just show up and do the work. It's just a different mindset shift. And people don't understand, like, I don't know if I could ever do that. And people would ask, how do I do that?
Yeah.
There's people doing it. And it doesn't logically make sense to not believe that you can do it. And so you just do it. You have to like truly convince yourself that you're capable of achieving whatever you want to do.
Yeah. So for me, it's very simple. 300 to 400 is a mindset shift.
Yeah.
Right. 99% of people listening to this podcast aren't 300 count reps yet.
Yeah.
Right. So we're going to go one step before that to help that group. Right. So I think who this podcast is for is going to be for someone who's done under 100 and wants to go to 200.
Yeah.
Right. That's where I feel like that's the biggest jump can happen, because a lot of that is actual tactically.
For
It's
sure.
tactical sales training. Once you get 250 to 400, 300 to 400, that's mindset.
Yeah.
That's a conversation that people aren't ready to have yet because you haven't gotten 300 or 400 yet. Right. So if you haven't sold 250 or 300, right, I would say worry less about the mindset. Right. If you're stuck at 75, 100, 125, wanting to get to 200, 250, right, it's going to be tactics.
For sure.
It's going to be more tactics. So this is what this podcast is designed for. If you're in the 75, 100 range, trying to get to 200, 250, this is for you. So pay attention, take notes, save this podcast, send it to a friend, right? Put it on repeat. You've got my best install ever is 357. Yours is
420.
420. You've got 350 plus reps, Vivint reps sitting on this couch. We're going to give you the absolute gas here. So you're going to do some door approaches. I'm going to do my door approach, right? We're going to share. This is going to be the most value Vivint sales training podcast ever recorded.
Let's go. People are going to like the door approaches.
Yeah,
it's all the pitch.
Yeah, it's all we're going to do door approach, transitioning, closing, overcoming objections, the whole thing.
Cool.
Okay, so I'll go first on some things, and then I want to hear your way to it. So when I'm coaching people one-on-one, by the way, I'm a one-on-one sales coach. For those that don't know me, Doug Cartwright, Alchemy Sales Coaching. I am taking people this summer for coaching. I work with Jake and multiple other guys. That's conversation. We'll go deeper on that later. But so some of my magic sauce I want to share, and I'm hearing you do it, is when I get not interested. I'll go to the door, knock the door, do the whole pitch, and I get, hey, not interested. One thing that worked really, really well for me to get me from 2 to 300, word for word, right? Hey, totally get it. That's exactly why we're here. Most people actually aren't interested in this until something happens. So, can I make an assumption about you, Jake? You've never had a fire or break in before, right?
No,
No, that's exactly why we're here. I can tell, right? Because if you had a fire or a break in, you would have responded differently to this.
for
So,
sure.
this program is designed for people who are proactive, who can get ahead of the curve and don't have to worry about something happening.
Yep.
So, for those that qualify for this thing, we'll let you design it however you want, cameras, locks, thermostats, put it on your phone. Right? And if you qualify, you literally can get it for zero up front. You just have to keep it serviced. So if you had to get something like this, what do you think you would use?
I mean, I like the smart home stuff, and I'd probably do a camera to watch the cars.
You must say that for a reason.
I mean, I'm gone a lot, and so just having a camera to watch my property when I'm gone and see who's coming and in and out. People are always coming in and out of my house. I have little girls, and
Cool.
they're always having people over.
So a couple things I did there, right? So first off is when someone says not interested, I immediately respond with that's exactly why I'm here. Right. And then I go back to, can I make an assumption you've never had a fire or a break in before? No, it's a safe area.
Yeah.
Yeah, this program is designed for you. Unfortunately, most people don't get one of these things until after something happens.
Yep.
And at that point, it's too late. So would you say you're more proactive or reactive?
I'm proactive for sure.
Right? And then I asked him, keynote on here, I said, if you had to get something like this, what do you think you would use? Not would you get something like this? It's if you had to get this, what would you use?
Yep.
Right? Now they're going to say camera, lock, thermostat, yada, 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 right? Proper sales training. Immediately follow that up with, you must say that for a reason, right? Because now they're going to build value and you go into the transition. So recap on first way, not interested, is I go to proactive versus reactive. I go to assuming you've never had a fire or a break-in before. Yep, cool. That's exactly why we're out here. Unfortunately, the way my industry works, most people don't do this until after something happens. And at that point, it's too late. So would you say you're more proactive or reactive? And then you go from there. Any questions on that, Jake?
No, I think you definitely tied me down as well
Yeah.
and put me in a position where it's like I am a proactive person. So maybe I should hear this out. I think you moved this all forward really well.
Yeah.
It's good.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, so let's flip it. Hey, man, this looks really great. No, I'm just actually, I don't think I'd use any of this stuff. Not interested.
For sure. If it's not a win for you and your family, I don't want you guys to do it either way. I'll at least leave you the information. If you change your mind, give us a call. You have an iPhone, Android. My mindset behind it is a lot of people are like, what one liner do you use for this specific smoke screen? And it's not necessarily the one liner that matters. It's are you progressing the self forward? And then the other side of it, I would say, is it's all about staying calm and unfazed when you do get the smoke screen. And so it doesn't really matter what you're saying as long as you are unfazed, which means I don't break character. What they're saying is not throwing me off, and I move the self forward. You always want to make sure you're moving the needle forward.
Yeah, so one thing that I love that you did there, and I noticed this too when I was traveling around Vivint teams and training, years ago. One thing that no one trains on, but has the biggest impact, and you said it perfectly, is your demeanor.
Yeah.
You have to be unfazed. Nothing touches me. No objection is going to rattle me, going to cause me to stutter my words, cause me to pick up my speech, to get shaky, to get frustrated. It's just like cool, calm, collected.
Yeah.
Right.
I train a lot on why are people shutting you off right away. And I feel like it's human psychology when they feel pressured. And this is outside of sales in general. People always shy away. And they're just trying to get rid of the situation as fast as possible. And so I'm a big believer in like the second you come to their door, instantly this customer is going to be in fight or flight. I've spoken about it maybe on one of my reels before, but every one of us, when we're on the doors, we have these customers that are like, no, understand. We're like, dude, why is everybody so rude? When we're at the mall and someone's trying to clean our shoes, the first thing we do is like, no, we're good. We stiff arm them. We're not rude people, and we're in sales, so you think we'd be a little bit more understanding, but it's just natural human nature. And when you get put in a position where you feel pressured whatsoever, we're subconsciously wired as humans to just naturally shut off. And so I think the most important thing with smoke screens, which learning how to master smoke screens is actually what did take my sales game to the next level as well. But it's understanding these guys are in fight or flight. if we cannot get them open to our influence, they are not going to hear anything we say. So it doesn't matter how great your one-liner is. It's all about being unfazed. And so I'm on the doors. Hey, are you the homeowner? Dude, we're good. And I'm just super, super calm. The average mistake a rookie is going to make is they're either not going to move the sell forward. Why are you not interested, Mr. Customer? And expect to get a hot button there. Or they're breaking character. They start talking faster. Hey, dude, I'm super busy. No worries, I'll be super quick. And then they start moving quick. No worries, I'll be super quick. I'll at least leave you the information. And so if you can, whatever you're feeling internally is going to transfer externally. And so if the customer can feel that you're desperate as well, it's going to put their guard up more. And so if you can get your internal state really, really grounded when you're out on the doors and you're truly there to help the customer and that's your focus, handling smoke screens is easy because you genuinely can get their guard down. And that's why when people knock with you, they probably are always like, dude, if I could just get those customers.
Yeah.
Like, but it's all the demeanor.
Yeah. Sales,
sure.
period. And this is the foundation of alchemy, right? Sales is a transfer of energy.
For sure.
Period. Right. And so a common mistake, you said something really powerful there that I want to highlight, is a common mistake reps make is that when they get rejected a lot, no, door after door after door, their tendency is to speed up their voice. Or maybe I need to talk faster to get my pitch out quicker.
For sure.
When the reality is you actually need to slow down
For sure.
your pitch. And I've done deals where I catch myself where I'm talking too fast and I'll ring a bell and I literally would be like, hey, how's it going?
Good.
Good, man. Cool. I'm Doug. I'm with Vivint. Right. And I'll go that slow. And where it's like awkward. And they literally are like, what are you doing at my doorstep? And I'm really just trying to bring the energy down.
Yep.
Right. Because if we speed it up, that is going to create kind of an anxious energy. Because here's the truth. The number one objection you have to overcome on the doors, it's not even close, is trust.
Yep.
If people like you, they'll talk to you. Right. But if they trust you, they'll do business with you.
For sure.
And if you're talking fast and you're being disingenuous by a fake voice or a fake smile or a fake laugh, right? People can feel that.
100%.
Right? You know when people aren't being real.
Yep.
And so that's going to create a lack of trust.
Yep.
And so by bringing a cool, calm, collected, clear energy, that actually is trust, creates trust.
Yep.
And so again, you nailed it. It's like, you can't break character. It's like, I'm going to be cool, calm, collected, regardless of what happens. Right. And then I'm going to bring in my value adds. Right.
Yep.
So let's slow it down again here. I'm going to be the customer. You're going to knock on my door and I want to hear it like cold from the front, from the start.
All right.
Yeah.
Knock, knock.
Hey, how's it going?
Hey, are you the homeowner?
I am.
Nice to meet you. I'm with Vivint. We do the alarm cameras. Do you guys have a system?
What do you mean?
We do the alarm cameras. Have you guys had a chance to set something up yet?
Yeah, we're good, man. We got a system. We love it.
Okay. We're asking you to keep our sign out. It's orange. If you do that, we'll give you our system. Comes with the door, window, motion sensors, doorbell camera, outdoor camera with a spotlight. I'll show you what it looks like, leave you some information. Do you have an iPhone or an Android?
I use an Android.
From your phone, you can unlock and lock the doors, open, close the garage, adjust the thermostat. Outdoor camera, intruder comes on the property, spotlight's going to go on him. It's going to follow him around like a helicopter. After 5 seconds, it'll whistle, start flashing him. Try to deter it before it happens. I'll leave you the information. If it's something you want to do, give us a call. You have a corner of a table I can use, jot a couple things down?
Yeah, it looks cool. I mean, can you just give me a card right here?
Yeah, you care if I use the top of the counter?
Do you have like an actual card?
I'll leave you with the information. If it's something you want to do, give us a call. You have a corner of the table I can use?
Yeah, cool. So to talk to me about that, what you just did right there.
I mean, a lot of people in that situation, it's like, oh, I'm purposely saying that because it's my way of qualifying. And if they're not working with me exactly the way I want them to work with me, and there's two sides of that, like obviously you got to work with the customer in some instances, but purposely I'm putting myself in a position where I'm just going to ask to transition inside the home because that's what I want. If they will not let me inside their home, I'm not going to make the sell. And so at that point, I'm qualifying. He's like, yeah, can I get a card? It's like, yeah, I'll leave you the information. If it's something you want to do, give us a call. Right there, the interest was not high enough. And he's basically telling me that. I typically would walk away.
Yeah. So you're moving pretty quickly through these.
I mean, what took me to 200 to 400 was two things. I learned how to qualify at a really high level. And
really
I learned
fast.
Really fast. And
so what are you looking for in that qualification piece?
So it's if the customer is willing to do, like, if my process is getting me forward. And if my process is not getting me forward, that's a direct correlation that the customer's interest is not super, super high because my process works 4 to 6 times a day. And if it's not working, I'm not going to spend my time trying to push a customer into something that maybe their interest isn't high, maybe the timing isn't right. I don't want to push somebody and make them feel uncomfortable. I don't want to put that on myself. I'll just find somebody else who has higher interest because there's a lot of people.
Yeah, so you're moving pretty quickly through these doors.
For sure.
Yeah, yeah. So walk me through. So let's say I let you in. I'm like, yeah, cool. Leave me some information.
Okay.
Here's the counter.
Second I get inside the home is directly to business. There's a couple steps you don't want to skip. You want to get in a business setting. So you want to be at their table, face to face. You want to make sure that they're paying attention. And if they're not, I'm gonna pack up myself. I'm gonna walk out. Okay.
So what do you mean?
I'm gonna sit down at their table and I'm gonna make sure they're looking at me directly and they're paying attention. They're all over the place. They're cooking and stuff like that. I'll be like, hey, do you care if you come sit down? I want to show you this really quick. As long as they're face to face with me, I'm ready to move forward in the sell. The second they sit down, I stand up. I have my slick. I say, this is the panel. We're going to put it on your wall. When someone comes on the property, their face is going to go on the panel on the wall. Your wife's here alone. She can look at the panel, two-way talk directly from her phone through the cameras, call the police if she needs. And then I move forward. Doorbell camera, we're going to give you guys that. It'll focus on the mat. If your wife orders a package, it'll actually text your phone, package delivered. So they're smart cameras. We'll do a camera in the front and the back. Do you guys want cameras on the sides as well or just front and back?
Cool. Just front and back.
Cool.
Yeah. Option close.
Indoor cameras, two-way talk. Would you care to have that?
Not necessarily.
Okay. Door lock, unlock the door, punch in the code.
Cool. Definitely on the front.
Okay. Open, close the garage from your phone.
Absolutely.
Okay. Entry points, you guys have 3, front door, back door, garage door?
Yes.
Okay. Glass break sensor will cover the windows. 80% of break-ins, they're going to smash open a window. We'll give you a glass break sensor to cover the windows. Smoke and carbon, if there's a house fire, door will unlock, garage open, fire department's going to show up. I have the doorbell camera, camera in the front, camera in the back, 2 spotlights, panel, door lock, garage, 3 security sensors, 1 glass break sensor. Smoke and carbon, we'll install it for you, police dispatch, installation, and warranty. This system, $90 a month. That's why it's a no-brainer. You've seen all the signs popping up. You like the price where it's at, or you want me to take anything off?
We just got to just check over our budget.
Okay. You're going to like it. It's a nice system. You have 30 days to try it out. If you don't feel like it fits in the budget, we'll pick up our stuff. You owe us nothing. In case of emergency, do you want me to call you or your spouse first?
So cool. Talk us about what you said right there. I like what you did there.
I mean, they're giving me a concern and a problem. And it's like, how do I handle the objection of like, I just need to think about it? Well, they have 30 days to try it out. If they don't like it, we'll pick up our stuff. It's nothing. But what I'm trying to do is like, they gave me a problem. The way you handle a problem is you just minimize the problem. It's no big deal.
Yeah.
Like if they were like, oh no, I don't do contracts. It's the best part about Vivint. You're going to like it. We'll give you 30 days to try it out. If you don't feel like it's worth it, we'll pick up our stuff. You owe us nothing. It's no big deal. And I'm making that known with my body language. I'm really not putting in a ton of effort to overcome these crazy objections. I'm going to solve the problem by minimizing it. If they bring up a real problem, which you didn't, like I need to make sure it's in the budget. That's not a real problem. They're just maybe not sold enough. I'm going to close like I did, and then they'll probably give me the real problem.
Cool. What are some of the real problems you do see?
We're about to refinance our home, so we don't want to put anything on our credit right now. Right now, we're not in a good financial situation. Maybe come back down the road.
Yeah.
And like those are the main problems I'm getting. But also too, like when you're inside the home, as long as you're like slow, calm, articulate, the product is going to sell itself. And they let you inside their home because they're interested. People want things right now. Just keep it simple and just make the decision for them. They're going to like it. It's a nice system. You got to believe that.
Yeah. And so what you're doing really, really well here that I really appreciate is something that I trained all the time to my teams was if it's a big deal to you, it's a big deal to the customer.
100%.
And because nothing's a big deal to you, it's really simple, right? It's not a big deal to the customer, right? And so too often than not, you got to keep in mind, like a lot of the kids who are coming out and selling for Vivint, and you're listening to this, you know, their $75 phone bill is a big deal.
Yep.
Because their parents been paying for everything. And so it's like, you know, you've been working hourly. So a $75 phone bill is like, oh my gosh, this is expensive. It's a big bill for you, for some of these kids. For a middle America, you know, a house in Texas or in Arkansas, middle upper class family, like these bills aren't that big of a deal.
Right.
Right. And so it's just not a big deal. And so you kind of just navigate. I'm like, yeah, it's not that big of a deal. We'll make it work for you. No big deal. And you just keep the sale progressing. And one thing too that you do really, really well that isn't being taught enough, but this is the purpose of this podcast, is your demeanor doesn't change.
For sure.
That's actually the magic sauce in this, if you're watching this on video, is that Jake's demeanor does not change.
When I'm inside the home, you can feel your own energy and you can read the customer. That's why also too, it's so important to like follow the same process every
Every
single
time.
time
Every time.
because a lot of sales is learning how to read people at a high level.
Yep.
And if you get the same results every single time because you do the same pitch every single time, you're naturally going to start seeing the same patterns every
Yep.
single time. But yeah, I'm just reading the customer and I'm inside the home literally thinking to myself like, oh shoot, did I speak a little bit too fast? I could tell I maybe put a little bit of pressure on them. I'm trying to literally just stay so slow, calm, articulate, relaxed.
Yeah, it just takes all the buying pressure off. One thing that I would do as well in my presentation, that was the same way. I did the same presentation every single time, is when I would show the video, because it kind of shows everything the system can do, and I felt like it did a good job of building value. When that video was playing and the customer was watching it, customer didn't notice, but I'm behind the iPad and I'm taking big, deep breaths. I'm going,
Yep.
and I'm trying to calm my energy down to like the slowest point possible. Because what I'm doing, to your point, is I'm mitigating the energy, mitigating the risk of high energy in the room, right? I'm trying to calm the energy. I'm trying to calm it down, right? Because if I can stay calm and centered, it really isn't that big of a decision,
Right.
right? It's super simple, right? And so when I would get objections like, yeah, we need to think about it, my response always is like, what do you mean by that?
Yeah.
And then, because just so you're aware, I need to think about it isn't a true objection.
Right.
There's something they need to think about. So no big deal. Like, yeah, we need to think about it. I'm like, yeah, no problem. What do you mean by that?
I mean, we just want time to check into some other companies.
Yeah. So let me ask you this: if you felt confident that Vivint was absolutely the best company, right? And there was no other questions about it, would there be any other reason why you wouldn't do this?
No, just give us a couple days to look into a couple other options.
Cool. How does 30 sound? Is
That's
that better?
fine.
Is that
Yeah.
even better? Cool. I'll make you a deal. I'll give you 30 days, but I'll under one condition. If
What?
you're willing to help me out, we'll let you guys try it out for free. My tech will swing by, drop off some of the equipment, really super install. It's all wireless, right? So that way, as you're making your decision, right, you can actually use my product. Because the reality is, I know you're super busy,
Yep.
right? I'm here right now. We want to get this thing done, right? I can either give you a pamphlet and you can think about it, or as you think about it, I'll give you those 30 days. You can actually use my system. You can arm and disarm it. You can see how the camera's working, unlock and lock the door.
So we like test drive it.
Give you a test drive, baby.
All right, we'll
See
do
where
it.
that sounds good.
Yeah.
Cool. Right. And so on that too, my demeanor, totally chill.
Yep.
Right. And I've said like, hey, we want to think about it. Yeah, agree. I want you to think about it. I'll even make it sweeter for you. Then a couple of days, how about I give you 30? Is that fair?
Yep.
Yeah. So one thing I want to share on my sales training as we kind of pivot here, that's actually a huge unlock, and it's going to put a lot of money in your guys' pocket on this. And this was kind of like the magic sauce for me, is in my close. I did this is so it's changed now, but when I was at Vivint, there was a 198 install fee and a 198 activation. You could always waive the install fee. And if they had good credit, you could lower the activation from 198 to 99. I'm not sure what is there. There's no activation at all anymore, right?
No activation, and
In-
then
in-
installations roll into the monthly bill. Nothing up front. You can give it for free.
Cool. So what is it listed as?
$199.
199. Right. So this is what I would do. So I'd be like, hey, bottom line, I kind of build someone's package. But here's what most reps do. You close a deal, you're fired up, you're all excited, text on the way. And then what do you say to your rep, your customer? Say, hey, if you give me a referral, I'll give you $50.
Yeah.
Right. And then it's kind of like on your way out. Very, very rarely do you get referrals.
Yep.
Right. So here's a simple shift, a sales training shift I think you guys will like, is, and when I'm at the end of the deal and I've kind of laid out the final numbers, you got have the sensors and the doorbell camera and the backdoor camera and the package has been built. It's like, hey, Jake, bottom line, here it is. So your system that we've built out, it's $3,500, right? If you qualify for our deal, it's actually zero upfront.
Okay.
There's a $199 installation fee. To be straight up with you, that's part of my commission. So if I charge that to you, I get a piece of that, right? But what I'm willing to do is I'm willing to trade it, where I'll put it to zero if you can give me 2 referrals, people you think would also like this system. I'm looking for layups, like a home run. If you can give me 2 people who would be a home run, they don't actually have to get it, but you have to give me their name and address and text them for me. If you give me 2 people, I'll trade that to 0. Is that fair?
Fair.
Cool. And then I go through a warranty, whatnot, monthly payment.
Yep.
So what I did there on the psychology piece is the first option is, hey, give me a referral and I'll give you $50. Now the energy is if Jake doesn't give me 2 referrals, he actually owes me $200.
Yep.
And now you're leaving with 2 referrals and you're not paying him for them. They're just added. And so then you're getting your next deal. So the first time I implemented this was in 2012 in Houston in the Woodlands, right? It was a random Wednesday. First store I touched, I sold. Did this from like, hey, there's a 198 activation fee. I'll trade it to 0 if you give me 2 referrals. Guy gives me 2 referrals. I ended up doing a 7 spot on a Wednesday off of a referral trainer. Got 6 other referrals from other people, and I knocked 1 door.
Yep.
So put that in
Those are the best days.
Those are the best days. Put that in your book. Put that in your sales training book, right? Rather than trading referrals for money, leverage it and say, hey, I'm willing to lower this down. Because the reality is that's true, right? If you do charge a full install, you get a piece of the commission,
Yep.
right? So I'm saying, hey, I'll trade part of my commission for you if you give me 2 referrals. Is that fair? Would you be willing to make that trade?
Yes.
Yeah, cool. So now when you leave, you can get 2 referrals to get you your next deals.
Right.
Yeah. What other little tricks like that do you have for us?
I think the people that sell at the highest level, they are really good at referrals. And
Totally. It's a huge piece of the game.
And so the very basics of referrals is you have to just bring it up every single time. I have a mindset about referrals that I feel like most people don't have. I'm willing to spend money to get referrals. I'm also reading the situation. If I'm with a customer that I know could bring me a lot of referrals, I might offer them $300 cash to give me referrals. And I look at it as like a huge investment. Like, hey, if I give $300, one, I'm guaranteeing myself a lot of sales. Two, the customer's stoked. They're probably going to want to give me more referrals. And I'm still making $500, $700 on the sell. So it's a big investment, but also more sales is more money. So I'm going hard on referrals and I'm pushing it and I'm trying to make the customer feel good about it for sure.
So how do you bring that up? Like, what is your conversation like for referrals?
I mean, at the very end, I basically say, if you guys refer me to anybody, I'll give you guys $300 cash. Do you have anybody in mind? And so I'm trying to do it like right there on the spot, and I'll make them call them on the spot.
That's key. Is you got to have them call them.
Yep. I'll make them call them on the spot. And what I'll do is like, I'll teach them how to sell them on the phone. Yeah. And so while they're talking to them, I'll be like, tell them you'll give them $100 of it if they'll do it. Just at least let me come over. Yeah. So don't say, hey, you need to get the system. Just be like, hey, you should hear this guy out. If it makes sense, he's actually paying $100 up front to get it done. And so they're using some of their money. They're excited about it. They feel like they're involved in it. I'm teaching them how to sell. But my whole mindset with referrals is just get me to their house. Let me sit down with them because the trust is already built.
Trust is there.
Trust is already there. And I'm closing them at a crazy high clip. I find a lot less success in referrals where it's like, hey, here's this guy's number, and I reach out, and then it's like 3 days down the road, 5 days down the road.
Gone.
It's like, no, get me to their house right now. Tell them I'll drive over right now.
Yep. So
and I'm listening to the conversation on the phone, like, say this.
Yeah. So that's the key there is you go to the referral right then.
For sure.
I'm the same way. Like, as soon as I get a referral, it's my next stop.
Yep.
Because the momentum, because they're getting installed, they're excited, right? You're building off that momentum. They just called you. They're going to be texting each other back and forth anyways. Oh, my text here, your text here, right? And so you want to go off that momentum. Another thing on there too that I do, and this is kind of like prep work. This is top 1% stuff. When I get to a hood, I'm the type where I like to stay in the neighborhood forever.
Yeah.
I want to stay there forever. I hated moving area. So when I first get to an area, right, we're talking about building trust. First thing I do is I drive my whole area and I go and stop at every Vivint house, right? And I'm trying to get their name.
Yep.
I want to know when they got the system. I want to know why they got the system. And then I have what I call the list. So I'll take the back of a pre-qual card and I will handwrite Steve and Lisa Jenkins.
Yep.
Right. Jake and Mary Swanson. Right. And just like writing their names, and I have a whole list. And then each person, I'm saying, hey, I'll give you $50 right now if you do a post for me on the neighborhood Facebook page.
Yep.
Hey, everybody, Doug with Vivint's in the neighborhood. We've had our system for 3 years. We love our doorbell camera. And here's a key phrase. I have them write this. If he knocks on your door, give him a listen. We love our system.
Love it.
And then I'll offer that same deal to every Vivint customer in the neighborhood.
Yeah.
So I'll have 5 people posting on the next door Facebook page. I have a list of all the Vivint customers before I even knock my first door.
Yeah. I think the credibility is like next level. I also think there's a lot more wins in that as well, because a lot of people go to these houses and if they don't make a sell, they don't at least get something from it. And you're like asking the question, why did you guys sign up?
Yep.
Sometimes a customer will tell you, like we had 4 car break-ins, like over here, over here, over here.
Yep.
When I show up to a house, I'm like, hey, are you the homeowner? Yes. I'm with Vivint. We do the alarm and cameras. Those guys had a break in. Those guys had a break in. And then I moved directly forward because I know information about the neighborhood. The credibility is built. The trust gets built a lot higher. It's just little tricks that build trust.
I mean, it's crazy too, because what happens too is like, now that I have all this information, right, my self-confidence goes way
100%.
up. I feel welcomed
Yep.
in the neighborhood, which is going to change my energy transfer on the
Yep.
doors, right? And then as I start getting more deals, I'm adding people to the list, and then they're posting on the neighborhood Facebook page too. And so what my door approach, this is crazy, what my door approach turns into in a neighborhood when I have a long customer list and a neighborhood
I've seen
Facebook
the
page is, hey, I'm Doug with Vivint. I'm sure you've heard about me on your neighborhood Facebook page, right?
Yep.
That's the first thing in my mouth. They're
I've
like,
done that
what do you mean?
before
I'm
as
like,
well.
do you know anyone on this list? And now the interest is really, really high. They're like, yeah, I know a couple people. What's going on? What are you doing? Let me show you. Do you have a second? I'll break it down for you.
Yep.
And
And you're getting inside those homes quick.
and I get inside the house and they don't even know what I'm doing.
Yep.
They haven't said anything about smart home, but the curiosity is so high, the credibility is so high, the trust is so high. I'm now immediately just sitting down with someone.
Those are God mode days.
God mode days, right?
Yeah.
Those are days you're just absolutely ripping. So you say security and cameras.
Yep.
What I said, I was a little bit more distinguished. I said emergency response and surveillance.
Yep.
Right? Hey, I'm Doug. I'm doing the updates to the emergency response and surveillance in the neighborhood. I'm sure you heard what we're doing. Right? It's pretty simple. Let me show you what it looks like.
I'm curious.
Yeah.
Emergency. What's that?
Emergency response and surveillance.
Yep.
Yep. It just sounds, to me, it just sounded more professional. Right? It sounded legit. People are a little bit more curious.
For sure.
Right? We're doing all the updates for the emergency response to the neighborhood and the surveillance. I'm sure you've heard about us, right?
Yeah.
Right. And then you just go from there. Right. But same thing.
Yeah.
Same thing. Same thing. What are some of the other tips or tricks? So you get someone on the doors how do you handle someone who's a little bit more abrasive on the front end?
Like they're like, hey, what do you want?
Yeah. What do you want? What are you doing here?
I focus on like 3 things. And so every single piece of my advice are going to be, I just stick to the very, very basics. And so my answer to that is they come out on the door, they're hot for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
They've had something going on. Hopefully my energy can be so internally calm that I can calm them down. And so they answer the door, hey, what do you need? I'm with Vivint. We did the alarm, cameras. I'll show you what it looks like, leave you some information. And so I'm just trying to stay calm and relax. Same thing that I said before.
Yeah. One thing too, just to highlight it, by you saying I'll leave you information, you're actually bringing up an objection before it comes up.
Yep.
That's all you're doing. Because they're like, hey, just leave me some information. You're like, yeah, I'm going to leave you information.
Yeah.
Right.
A big part of people are always like, what do I say for this objection, this objection, this objection? The only reason you're getting those objections is because you are not bringing them up beforehand.
Yeah.
And you are not building trust at a high level beforehand. And you're not getting them open to your influence to actually give you the problems and read the problems that are going to come beforehand.
Yeah. What would be an example of that?
I just think that the way I look at it is your process needs to be tailored in a way that produces results. And so I would say, like, for example, for Vivint reps, Tristan Pears is the best rep ever at Vivint, and it's not even comparable. Everybody sees his pitch. They know his pitch. They've heard his pitch. It's on conveyor, whatever. And then everybody's just in a mindset like, that wouldn't work for me. It only works for him because he's like this and like that and like that. That's not the truth. His pitch produces results. And so you honestly should just do his pitch word for word because it obviously works. And then when you start doing it, you start noticing like, oh, this actually overcame this before it happened. Oh, this put me in this situation, which this situation is a lot easier for me to handle because I did this and this and this beforehand. And so I'll just follow the process. Like my biggest sales advices would be follow the process like your life depends on it. The process is going to produce results. And then understand what sales actually is. A lot of people think it's like, oh, I just need to push through everything. And so that way I can get to the value proposition. Sales is not pushing people into something they don't want. Find somebody with a problem, show them that you're the person that can solve their problem and they can trust to solve their problem. And so when I'm on the doors, I'm saying my pitch until I either get cut off because I want to get cut off. Why? Because they're either going to give me a problem, why they can't buy. Oh yeah, dude, now's really not a good time. We are looking into cameras though. Now's not a good time. Maybe come by in a few months. Okay. And so now I'm putting myself in a situation, okay, this guy's interested. He has a problem. I'm just going to move the cell forward, stay calm, get him open to my influence. Then he'll actually give me a problem. Or it's going to be a position where it's like, now I can get off the door quick. A lot of rookies get in their heads like, what am I doing wrong? What am I doing wrong? And the reason being is because they're trying to sell people that are just not sellable.
Right.
And so they think that they're doing something wrong instead of just realizing like, yo, you're not going to sell everybody. You got to find the right people. And if somebody's not interacting the way you want them to, which if they're cutting you off and telling you no and their body language is closed off, that is the way you want them to. Because if you want to sell at a high level, you have to learn how to get through the no's really quick. When you go and shadow rookies, like these guys will get told like, hey, are you the homeowner? Dude, we're freaking good. We hate Vivint. We're good. And then they're trying to sell that customer.
Yeah.
And it's like, dude, I don't know what I'm doing wrong. Like, I just can't overcome this concern. Everybody in my neighborhood hates Vivint. Yeah. And it's like, no, that doesn't faze me at all. Like, you hate Vivint, no worries. I'll show you the new stuff. If it's something you want to do, give us a call. And then if they're somewhat of a sell, they're going to make a response like, dude, honestly, we had Vivint in the past and we got burned in this way. They gave me the problem. Now I need to solve the problem in order to make the sell and show them that I'm the person they can trust. And if I cannot do that, if they don't give me a problem at all, you can't make a sell.
Yeah.
And so those are my indicators of like, hey, this isn't my person. My whole mindset on the doors is find the right person.
Yeah. When this podcast comes out, it's going to be the very beginning of the sales season. And my advice always to rookies who are doing their first summer ever, like you should just be looking for 9s and 10s.
For sure.
Don't even bother with an 8 yet.
Yep.
Right. It's just straight up 9s and 10s. And the reality is in your area today, there's probably one of those.
Yeah. Every day.
Yeah. There's one. There's one today. Right. As you get better, you'll start selling 8s and then 7s. I never deal with 6s. Right. Even my prime, I rarely touch a 6. Right. But when you're a rookie, like go find your 9 or a 10 today. There's one of them in your area. You might not find it till 6:30 or 7.
Yep.
But maybe you find them at 2. But like go find the 9 or 10. Don't waste your times with 8s yet. You're just not ready.
Yeah. I also think rookies will say there's just nobody in my neighborhood that was interested. That's not true. The reality is you've gotten so in your head that you can't even see if someone's a 10 out of 10 or a 0 out of 10. You can't even tell the difference. You just think everybody's not interested.
You can't attune to it
because you're so focused on internally how I'm feeling. Like, oh, my energy sucks. I don't know if I'm making it sell. Like, what am I doing wrong? I'm in my head this way. And so like you get so brain fogged that you can't even read the situation. And so a big mental advice is the entire day, you have to be focused on the customer. And that doesn't just mean making the sell. It's like, I am truly there to provide value and service the customer in any way that I can. And if you can actually keep yourself in that state the entire day, you're never going to look internally. What am I doing wrong? And this is that. You might have a glimpse where you might actually get good information. Like, hey, I'm talking a little bit too fast right now. I'm just going to focus on that the rest of the day. It's nothing else. And so you got to stay focused on the customer to keep yourself in your level-headed, grounded headspace, and then you'll actually be able to read, oh, this customer is actually really interested. Get inside the home, stay calm, stay grounded. A lot of rookies will get in that situation. They'll get really, really excited, and they'll just lose the sell, and they'll talk themselves out of the sell. I do it still to this day. But you want to get so good to the point where you know why you sell them and why you do not. And until you can get to that point, I mean, you just got to work hard.
Yeah, you got to put the reps in to get there, right?
For sure.
It's just learning from mistakes. And the reality is, I remember my second year being in houses, not getting the deal, leaving frustrated, thinking like, okay, I remember thinking a year from now, I get that deal.
Yeah.
Right. And you just have to go through the suck. Like before you become a level 10 salesman, you have to be a level 4.
100%.
And then you have to put in the work and 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 put in the work to become a level 5. You don't go from 4 to 10. You don't go from 4 to 8. You don't go, you go from 4 to 5. Work. Level 6, work at level 7, right? And so a big mistake, especially at the beginning of the sales season, is so many reps are level 3 sales reps and they're trying to jump from 3 to 10.
Yeah.
And they don't respect the process.
Yep.
And for some people I mean, what year did you finally think that you're like, oh, I'm good at this job?
This year.
Yeah. How many years?
6.
Year 6.
Where I was like, yeah, I think I'm the best now.
Yeah. For me, I'm like, oh, I didn't feel like I was really good until year 4.
Yeah.
My 4th year, I'm like, oh, I'm actually pretty good. Like I'm in the top 1%.
Yeah.
It took 4 years. of just like relentless, going back to what you said at the beginning of the podcast, 4 years of being all in 24/7, 365, relentless
For
work
sure.
ethic.
The slower you go, the further you're going to get.
Yep.
I feel like every single person knows exactly what they need to do to be really good. They know they got to get better at closing. They got to get better at their transition. They got to build confidence. They got to learn how to work hard when they don't feel like it. They got to learn how to control their emotions. And so every single day, people are like, oh, I just don't have the energy to actually do the things that I know I need to do. But it's like, dude, you need to focus on one thing at a time. And the slower you go, the further you're going to get. You have to respect. I mean, it's like you can't go to the NBA and think that, okay, I'm in the NBA now, I'm just the greatest. Just like you get drafted to go out and sell. Oh, I've always been good at talking to people, I'm just the greatest. A lot of it's experience. I would talk to Tristan all the time and just be like, think I can sell 500 this summer? He's like, dude, a lot of it's experience. And you're going to learn the most by just going through the years and years and years. But step one, I would say, is the biggest mistake that rookies make is they switch up the pitch. What do you say for this? What do you say for that? What do you say for this?
Same pitch every door.
Follow the same process every single time and just work the hours. That's step one. You're going to learn how to be good at sales by one, following the process every single time, because then you're going to start learning how to read people. You're going to start learning what works, what doesn't work, how to say this correctly, how did I do this incorrectly. And so follow the process like your life depends on it and work the hours. And then it's like, okay, now I can work on my confidence. And then I can work on these one-liners that progress the sell. And then I can work on learning how to control my emotions. But one step at a time. The slower you go, the further you're going to get. You have to realize that you're not going to be the greatest salesperson ever overnight. It's actually, I mean, there's people that come out and they have like these monstrous rookie years and they're like super, super impressive. But there's a reason that you've never seen a rookie come out and they're the best rep in the company year one. It's not that they don't have the talent, they don't have the work ethic. Experience really matters.
Yeah. And you can't hack it.
Can't hack it.
Yeah. And on that note too, just want to highlight too, you talk about learning to regulate your emotions. That's a big piece of why I started Alchemy. And that's why I do sales coaching, is to help people regulate their emotions. Because I think from my experience, and I work with people in multiple industries, multiple $1 million a year earners. And it's by far, I think, the number one most important skill for longevity in the
Yeah.
industry is emotional
It's
self-regulation,
hard.
right? Because what is going to happen to your emotions this summer?
All over the place.
It's all over the place. What happens to your emotions in August?
I'm tired. I'm burnt out.
Yeah. And that's true for every single
The
summer
area
sales
is
rep.
so hard now.
Area is so hard. Area just feels a lot harder in August than it does
Yeah.
in May, right? Has nothing to do with area. It's all about your emotions. And so learning to regulate your emotions is so important, because if you can't, you will be a victim of your emotional states.
For sure.
And it's just going to create absolute chaos. So one tip that I'll give you guys in here, and if you want to go deeper, hit me up on Instagram at Doug_Cartwright. This is the coaching that I do. I work with Jake. I work with other top reps. And I talk about emotional self-regulation. Is the tool that I would give you is what I call relax and release. You're going to wake up this summer. You're going to feel unmotivated. You're going to feel stressed. You're going to feel anxiety. You're going to feel overwhelmed. You're going to feel panic. You're going to feel frustration. You're going to feel anger. You're going to feel all of these unpleasant
You're
emotions.
gonna feel like you're the best ever.
You're also going to feel like, I'm going to make $1 million this year and I'm untouchable.
Yep.
In both situations, first step, relax. Relax your shoulders. Relax your chest. Relax your hands, right? Release. What does that mean? Lean away from the energy. Lean away from anxiety. Don't push it away. Don't hide from it. Don't try and get rid of it. Don't avoid it. Just don't touch it. Let it be there. And just say to yourself, I can handle this. I can handle this. That will alleviate 40% of it. You're going to wake up feeling stressed, overwhelmed, panicked.
Yep.
Relax. I can handle this. Right? Imagine what your sales performance would look like if you woke up every single morning and, regardless of what was happening, 110 degrees in Houston, your last 4 jobs just canceled, your 3 reps that you brought out all just went home, right? Street genie's down. Can you handle it?
Too easy.
Right.
Some
Those
days.
who can't handle their emotions are the ones who quit, overwhelmed, panic. You'll see someone do a 10 week and then a 0 week. What that really is I can't handle my emotional states. The number one skill you need to get to the 1% is emotional self-regulation. And I cannot emphasize that enough. And the tool I would give you is relax, release, tell yourself I can handle this, so you can navigate the storms that are coming.
Yeah, I agree. Every time like you said, people have 10 weeks and they'll have 0 weeks, right? If you ask this rep, if you could just not get in your head ever, do you think you would like be 10 times better at sales? They're always going to say, yeah. And so my advice would be like, okay, does it logically make sense for you to be emotional in these circumstances and attach these emotions heavily? And they're going to be like, no, it doesn't make sense. And I'm so like, why do you do it? And their response is like, well, this is just how it is. Da, 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 da. People are genuinely addicted to their emotions because it's a cop out. And my advice is the exact same thing, is when you're feeling the emotions, which they're going to come, you have to just not touch it. And everything's going to be okay. I can handle this. It's the exact same thing.
Yeah. So what I would say too, just really important to note, not touching the emotion does not mean suppressing it, does not mean avoiding it, does not mean sweeping under the rug, doesn't mean ignoring it, doesn't mean I'm going to pretend that it's not here. Don't touch it means it's here. Anxiety is here. I can handle it.
It's welcomed.
It's here. It is welcomed here, but I'm not going to get pulled into it.
Yeah.
Right? I'm not going to react from a state of anxiety. It's present. It's right here. It's uncomfortable. That's okay. It belongs here. I'm not going to get involved in it. I'm not going to get in it. I'm not going to react from it. It's just really high levels of anxiety today. That's okay. It belongs here. And what happens is when you give it space for it to be there,
it'll release.
And you lean away from it. That's a woo-woo thing. You'll learn it. You lean away from it. It will transmute out the top of your head, and then it doesn't build. Because if you push it away, it builds.
Yep.
So what's happening in August when you have friends who lose their minds is they've been suppressing and avoiding unpleasant emotions for so long that it builds and builds and builds and builds and builds, and then finally it pops, and then people do crazy things.
Yeah.
Right? So as Jake was saying, when he says, don't touch it, what does that mean? It just means that it means it's here. It belongs here. It can be here. I'm not going to get involved in it. I'm going to allow it to move through me rather than avoiding it. And that's a huge difference.
Yeah. What it means to touch it, and like, I don't know if people understand that, you're starting to feel anxious, and in your head, like, how do I overcome this anxiety right
How do I
now?
get rid of it?
How do I get rid of it? My energy is like this. I can't give this shit away for free right now. How do I overcome it? This is affecting me this way. That's touching it. That's attaching to it.
It's reacting.
And
from
so the advice is, when you understand that, hey, if you could never get in your head, your performance would be way better. That means you should fully commit your life to learning how to be aware of your thoughts. And so if you can become aware of your thoughts, you're going to start noticing, you're going to start feeling these emotions that are not serving you. And you're going to catch your mind attaching them super hard. Dude, I feel this way. I need to overcome it. Why do I feel this way? What happened? Was it my diet? Was it this? What do I need to fix? Just relax. Like, it's okay that it's there. Welcome it.
Yeah.
And it's hard.
The highest path is, I am feeling these emotions. That's fine.
It's a full commitment.
I'm okay with it. I can handle it.
Yep.
I'm feeling crazy anxiety today. Crazy. And insecurity and fear. Not a problem for me. I can handle it.
Yep.
Right. That's the difference. It's not, how do I get rid of them? What can I do so I don't feel them? It's today, fear's just a little bit bigger than it was yesterday. It's going to be gone tomorrow, right? The deeper quote is, you can't stop the waves from coming.
You must learn how to surf.
But you can learn how to surf them.
Yes, sir. I love that quote.
Sir.
Another advice that I have on that, even when you're hot and you're having big weeks, you have to stay humble and you have to stay grounded. The biggest problem, like 200 accounts to 400 accounts, is these 200 account reps. They'll go out and sell a 15-week and they're like, I'm the best. Like, I'm going to do it. And then they go out the next week on a Monday and it's like they get smacked in the face. They get humbled very, very quickly. This job will humble you.
So quick.
You have to stay humble and you have to stay grounded on your highs and your lows.
Yeah. Never too high, never too low. Right? Whatever emotion is here, welcome it, belongs here, I can handle it.
Yep.
That's the difference, the top 1%. Jake, you're the man. Thanks for firing up some sales training. Those that are listening, if you are looking for deeper coaching, one-on-one experience with me, I have a couple of spots left for summer. I'm almost sold out, actually. I'm almost fully booked. If you want to go deeper with me, one-on-one, have me guide you through the whole summer, be a part of the Alchemy community, hit me up on Instagram at Doug_Cartwright. We've got more coaching surprises coming more in the future with Jake after the summer comes up, so stick around for that post-summer. Or you can fill out an application at alchemysalescoaching.com. We only take a handful of people. You do have to qualify to be in this program. But Jake has been a member of Alchemy for over 2 years now. You've seen his growth and his development, and we really focus on, yeah, the tactical sales training piece, but also the emotional awareness, which is a huge unlock as well. What else are we looking forward to this summer, Jake?
Personally,
Yeah. What can we expect from Jake Robles this summer?
I'm trying to break the Vivint record. And so I want to sell over 600 FP. I feel like I can do it. And I know what it takes and I'm willing to commit to it. And so I think I'll be the best rep at Vivint history and we're going to go for it.
And you're gonna be filming the whole thing, right?
Yeah, we're gonna document the whole thing, and I'm gonna try to be really valuable to the sales industry as a whole, in general. And so stay tuned. We're gonna do our best and see if we can make it happen.
Stay tuned for Jake Robles' big summer. I'm gonna be sitting front row, bro. I'm super proud of you, man. It's been inspiring to watch with you. I've loved working with you the last couple of years, and I know the best of your work is yet to come.
Let's go.
Thanks, Jake.
Thank you.